Good evening, Cameron. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Oh, mind, did I turn the mic back up? I did. Oops. 1 second. Loud noise. Sorry. Forgot to turn the mic back up. I'm terrible at that. I always remember to turn it down when I'm actually working, but I forget to turn it back up. I hope you had a great weekend, Cameron. Give it a couple minutes for everybody to hop into the stream tonight. I'm going to check my phone every once in a while, see if I get notifications. Not yet. I haven't gotten a notification that I'm live yet. I know I'm live. I can see it's working. It's just not. Hasn't sent me a notification yet. And I checked all my settings. Good evening, Kitty Q. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Lemon Pie, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you both had a terrific weekend. Tonight we're doing trivia on Juan Rodriguez Chavez. Juan Rodriguez Chavez, the thrill killer from the state of Texas. Kitty, you got your notification. Well, that's good. At least some of them are going out, hopefully. I haven't gotten one myself yet for my other channel is subscribed to 411 now. So, and I do that only to see if the notifications go out. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I was saying I checked all my settings, and notifications is turned on for every device that I have: tablet, laptop, computer. It's all turned on, so it should send me a notification. But they say if you turn it off on one, what you're doing is you're actually turning it off for YouTube itself, and it's not just that device. You're turning it off for YouTube. And Tamara got a notification too. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys got notifications. Oh, I might have gotten it. 1 second. I did. I got it at 4:02 and 20 seconds. So about 40 seconds ago, I got it. So I got notification that I am live. Lita, good evening, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Well, I had to go to the bell and hit the personalized, then go out and back and hit all notifications. It was like a refresh, I think. Might be. That might work for others too. And good evening, Sal and the Morgan. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's trivia. All the trivia tonight is on Juan Rodriguez Chavez, the thrill killer from the state of Texas. Inner Peas, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Give it another 30 seconds here and we'll get this started. Now, I'm going to tell everyone in advance right now, like I did yesterday, there are quite a few different names that I'm going to have, I'm just not going to even bother to try to pronounce. You'll all see them on the screen. But I am absolutely terrible at pronouncing Spanish names and names that are of Ukrainian and Russian descent, let's say. I'm terrible at it. Maybe it's because I just don't see them or read them enough. Maybe if I was more familiar with with the language itself and how it's pronounced, I mean, I could try to butcher them. and I'll try that. Some of them. This should be good. Never heard of this one. The Morgan says, yeah, Juan Rodriguez Chavez, the thrill killer. All right, let's get the party started. This is episode 316. If you don't have, knowledge of my channel or my content, this is the 316th trivia night. That is a lot of trivia. It's all on my channel for the most part. There's about 50 some episodes that are not on there anymore, but still, well over 250 of them are. Viewer discretion is strongly advised for any and all content that you will hear or see on this channel. Some of the content covered and seen on this stream may not be suitable for all ages or audiences. I have restricted it access by law to 16 years of age plus on all platforms, meaning I stream to several different platforms. Or not, you may be watching this on X or Facebook or Discord, and through them you're watching it, but on top of YouTube. So that is all platforms. In accordance with U.S. and state laws under the RCW 26.28.080, it is a crime to disseminate this content or access content if you are under the age of 16. I am not responsible if you're 12 and you want to comment, I'm 12 and I'm watching your trivia. You lied or you're accessing someone else's account in order to do so. And that is not my fault. So good luck. Question number 1 is now on the screen. Juan Rodriguez Chavez, a sadistic serial killer from Texas, was known by what nickname? I'll get into that in a little bit here, Kitty Q. Why probably you couldn't find Discord. What was his nickname? Was it A, the clown killer, B, the thrill killer, C, the foot fetish killer, or D, the Austin Strangler? You're not old enough to be here, says Interpeas. Are the trivia episodes that aren't up anymore viewable on Patreon? No, they are not. Cement Shoes, and good evening, Cement Shoes. I hope you had a great weekend. No, they're not. We had a glitch about 2 years ago where a lot of content from not just my channel, but from what I understand, it was hundreds of thousands of people that were on one server with the and backed up on the server, that had videos and back catalog of videos that were on there. And I didn't lose just trivia night, episodes. I lost other content, older content that was on my channel from 3 to 5 years ago. But it was sporadic. It was like, okay, I lost like 10 episodes here, 4 here, 2 there, of trivia night, and then other entire series of videos that I did on killers. I used to do a series called 60 Seconds or Less. Every one of those videos are the 60 seconds or less. The older ones are all gone. Every one of them. I only have maybe 5 or 6 of the newer ones, but the rest of them are all gone. Teresa Bird, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. Question number 1 is on the screen, and I'm putting myself in my little window. Hello, Will in his little window. I hope you had a great weekend, Teresa Bird. I'm glad you could be here with us tonight for trivia. Question number 1. Juan Rodriguez Chavez, a sadistic serial killer from Texas, was known by what nickname? The correct answer to question number 1 is B as in boy, the thrill killer. And quickly, I want to address the Discord issue with Kitiku and anyone else who was trying to find my Discord and my Twitch. I have shut down both Discord, all 3 of the Discord channels, and the Twitch channel, and I will reopen them in August. But right now, they are all suspended. They're still there. It's not like I deleted them completely, but they're there. They're just being hidden right now, and that is because I'm reworking everything for my social media platform as a whole, for Facebook, X, all of it, and it's taking some time to to go through and clean everything up and remove people who have been, let's just say, they've been less than honest about who they are to other people. And so I have to remove people from the Discord and from, who had access to the channels as well, because some of these people were made as moderators on different platforms. So as I go through that, I will have it back open next month, all of it, and I will then put a link on YouTube on the community tab for all of it. Okay? So, all right, back to trivia. Question number 2. According to Juan Rodriguez, attorney, what were the final words he said before being executed? Was it A, kiss my ass? B, I'm an innocent man? C, great, I can now have pizza? Or D, Chad Daybell killed them all? Question number 2 of 20. According to Juan Rodriguez's attorney, what were the final words that he said before being executed? He looks like Anthony Todd if he lost weight. Yeah, there's quite a few different pictures here that we're going to use of Juan Rodriguez tonight. Some of these are older. He's been in and out of the criminal justice system, jail, and prison pretty much his entire adult life. So you're going to see a mixture of different photos of him, and everything is in the pretty much in the public, domain. So the Morgan's B, but what it be D? But I want it to be D. Kitty Q, B, I think C, LOL. Sal's going with B. His hairline is so receded, he could blink his lips. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny, Tamer. Question number 2 of 20. Giggity giggity. Like the old neighbor on the Family Guy. Giggity giggity. Or no, that's not the old pervert neighbor. That's Quagmire. Quagmire said giggity giggity. My bad. Or like matched up with Grant Amato. I can actually see a little bit of there. It's funny. Funny cement shoes. All right, question number 2. The correct answer is B as in boy. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent man is what Juan Rodriguez Chavez said as his last words before being executed. I'm an innocent man. Question number 3. Where was Juan Rodriguez born? Was he born in A, Pasco, Washington, B, Detroit, Michigan, C, Dallas, Texas, or D, Fort Wayne, Indiana? E, supersize it. Where was Juan Rodriguez born? Question number 3 of 20. Aren't they all? The Morgan's going with C. Lita C. Dallas, Texas. Where was he born? Disneyland. Cement shoes. I don't think he was born at Disneyland, but he could have been. I don't know. I wonder how many people have actually given birth in like the parking lot or at the actual theme park at Disneyland or Disney World or both. I bet there's been quite a few births, at both of them. If you think about it over the years. Kid accused D question mark on Space Mountain, says the Morgan. E, the North Pole with the rest of the elves. It's a good one, Cameron. Where was he born? I think I researched the wrong person. Juan Rodriguez Chavez. Oh, Inner Peas is going with, he was born on the Jersey Shore. And he was one of the 144,000 born on the Jersey Shore. All right, question number 3. The correct answer is D, as in dog. He was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana. The teacup rides. Sal changed it to D just in time. All right. Did you know Juan Rodriguez Chavez was the middle child of 19 children born to a couple of farm workers? 19. It's not a joke. That's all his full-blooded brothers and sisters. In total, there are 24 children that were born to either his mother or his father, but that are half siblings. So the other 5 are half siblings, but 19 are his full brothers and sisters. About 3 months after his birth, the entire Chavez family moved to West Dallas, a neighborhood predominantly, by Mexican Americans. All members of the family, included Juan, were described as normal, decent people, although he later dropped out of school after the 9th grade. Can't see the 9th grade part, but because my face is in the way. But imagine that. How would I have a? I don't know about y'all, but all right, I got a 6. Well, he's now 8. He's now 8 years old boy, and that boy can put away some damn food. With the cost of food in the grocery stores now, I mean, it's hella expensive. I couldn't even imagine trying to feed 19 children. That has got to be insane. Damn, when did his parents have time for sleep? Apparently none. None. He was a middle child, though, on top of it all. All right, question number 4. Juan had a lot of interesting employment in his lifetime. He was a snake wrangler, a septic tank scrubber, and what was his last job he had before his arrest? Was it A, a painter, residential, B, a short order cook, C, a truck driver, or D, a bull rider? Juan had a lot of interesting employment in his lifetime. He was a snake wrangler and a septic tank scrubber. What was his last job before his arrest? She couldn't say I have a headache. That's funny in her piece. Real, meaning barefoot and pregnant. She had to be pregnant constantly. Let me guess, they had no TV. Well, they were definitely poor, immigrant family. The Morgan is going with D, a bull rider. Question number 4 of 20. Gianna Marie. Good evening, Gianna Marie, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Excuse me. Chad Daybell's bodyguards. Sal's going with B, a short order cook. So is Kitty Q with a question mark. I don't know. Could be a short order cook. Bad beard model. The photo of him here, this is actually cut out of a larger grouping of him and his siblings. I had to he's standing in the there's he's standing up, and then there's other ones that are kind of bending over or in front of him, and there's other siblings that are sitting on the grass in front of their parents' home. I don't think all 19 of them are there though. I think it's only 13 or 14 of the siblings, and I do not know all the names or who is in there. I do know of a couple of those in there. I researched a different serial killer. I think same name, different info. I don't know. Oh, I'm surprised her uterus didn't fall out at the Piggly Wiggly. What was Juan Rodriguez Chavez's last job before being arrested? Question number 4. The correct answer is B as in boy. Short order cook. He worked in as a short order cook in I guess you call it a Tex-Mex restaurant. They made Mexican, inspired dishes, but they also made American style, dishes. But he was a short order cook. And the place was called Tito's, Tito, Tito's Restaurant. That was before his arrest for the murders that he had committed. That was the last legitimate job that he had. Question number 5. Eventually, it will go to 5. There we go. At what age did Juan Chavez commit his first murder? Was it A, 12, B, 21, C, 17, or D, 7? At what age did Juan Chavez commit his first murder? His rage stemmed from his inability to really grow that beard. Well, I don't know if I put one of them in there, but there's definitely one of him later on while he's in prison when he's much older and he's got a full beard. Then Lemon Pie. He in his incarceration period at the time, he either had no beard or he shaved his head completely, or he had shaved his head and had a giant beard. He's changed his looks quite a bit while incarcerated. Keep the carrots going with B, Gianna Marie, Lita, Lemon Pie, and Sour, all going with C. Lemon Pie is also going with the E, 144,000. Theresa is going with C as well. And Cameron is C. C seems to be a very popular answer here. For question number 5. All righty. The correct answer to question number 5 is C, as in cat. 17 years of age, he committed his first murder, was sentenced, sent away, got paroled, and almost immediately after being paroled, he went right back out and started killing again after he got paroled. They had they had the whole system fooled. They called him a model inmate. He was not given any write-ups or demerits during his first incarceration for murder, and they paroled him on the very first opportunity that he came up. A lot of inmates who are come up for parole do not get out on the their very first chance to see the parole board. But Juan Rodriguez Chavez, the very first parole board that he went in front of, they looked at his record of incarceration and they're like, you have done everything that we've asked you to, and you've been a model inmate while you've been here. We're going to grant parole. And not even a month and a half after his release, he committed his first crime and his first murder there soon after. So they kind of messed that one up, didn't they? Question number 6. While in prison for his first murder, Juan joined a gang and committed over 40 violations of conduct, but none of them were ever written up. Yet he was paroled. What gang did he join? Was it A, the Crips, B, the Bloods, C, the Ku Klux Klan, or D, the Texas Syndicate? While in prison for his first murder, Juan joined a gang and committed over 40 violations of conduct. Yet he was paroled. What gang did he join? Gary did. His first conviction was 10 years, and he only served 18 months. Affect his ability to grow hair. Getting violated every night, Mike. We have Morgan and Sal are going with D. Lita is going with B, the Bloods. The Rainbow Bunch. Speaking of the Rainbow Bunch, about 35 miles from my property in northern Idaho is where the Rainbow Ranch was. It's no longer there. Another group has it. But they were the Aryan Brotherhood had it originally. Then it was a equal rights group. I don't want to call them a gay rights group because they stood for a lot more than that. But they then had it, and they called it the Rainbow Ranch. And now the Rainbow Ranch has since given up the place, and another group has it. But it's about 35 miles straight down the same highway that you come in to my property up there. Gacy. Our gang. Our gang as in the Rascals. Our gang. Gacy. Oh, John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy's first conviction was for sodomy. And he hadn't committed any murders at that point, though. But he did, most certainly did later on, as we all know. So they definitely screwed that one up. E, the Disco Club. Disco Ducks. Donald Duck. Disco Club. Oh, you definitely researched the wrong Chavez. I'm sorry, Kitty Q. All right, question number 6. The correct answer is D as in dog. He joined the Texas Syndicate, which is an amalgamation of different individuals who had, maybe they were part of a street gang out on, on the streets in free society is what they call it. They call it the streets. But the Texas Syndicate is an amalgamation of other, inmates who get grouped together to form a prison gang. And the Texas Syndicate is found mainly in prison. There may be members of this gang or whatever. There might be MS-13 members in there, but they all got together and they formed what's called the Texas Syndicate. Now, of the 40 violations that he committed while doing his first prison sentence, none of those he was written up for. All of them were written up, and his cellie, as they would call it, cellmate. They call him a cellie. His cellie took the fall for all 40 of the violations of conduct. He was also in the Texas Syndicate. His roommate was, and it's not unheard of for one gang member to take the fall for another one, because I mean, when it comes right down to it, both violations of conduct, not really, they're not going to give you any good time. They might take away some of your good time, but they're not going to charge you criminally for the violation. But he committed them, and they found out later on that he actually was the person who committed all 40 of those violations of conduct. Question number 7. Oh, first, did you know this is his incarceration paperwork for when he was in prison? They list him as 5'8", hair black, from the state of Indiana. Education level 8 years completed because he dropped out in the 9th grade. 27 at the time of offense, from Fort Wayne, Allen County. The prior occupation is a painter, but it wasn't his last job. His last job was a short order cook. But that is his Texas inmate number, 442990. Given 15 years for murder. Released on supervised visitation on 3/10 of 1994. All right. Question number 7. An extremely violent man, Chavez often used his girlfriend or a friend to be a watch out for him. Who was his best friend, the watch out? Was it A, Hector Crazy Fernandez, B, Pablo Egan DeMarco, C, James Whitey Bulger, or D, Rachel Stiff Blanco? Who was his watchout? An extremely violent man, Chavez often used his girlfriend or a friend to be a watchout for him. Who was his best friend? i.e., his watchout. Watch out, make sure that no one's going to catch me. Yep, the killer I researched was born in 1965. Ooh. Yep. Well, it's like John Smith almost. Now that's crazy. There, we're two of a kind. I'm sorry, Kitty Q. Well, if it's any consolation, next week's trivia, I'm pretty darn sure you're not going to make any, mistakes on researching the wrong individual on that one. He's the only person with this name, next week's trivia, that I've ever heard of with that name. Lemon Pie is going with E. Polly Bra. Sure. Bra. Kitty Q. A. Question mark. Lemon Pie is going with B. Lita is going with D. Crazy mountain lions on meth, says Kitty Q. You got to watch out for those crazy mountain lions. Oh, yeah. Gianna Marie is going with D. And her P is E. Barry freaking Morphew. Jude, good evening, Jude, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. Question number 7. Who was his lookout? His lookout was none other than A. Hector Crazy Fernandez. And Hector Crazy Fernandez, ladies and gentlemen, his nickname was Crazy because he was actually crazy. He was institutionalized multiple times, Hector Fernandez, for being a harm to himself or to the community at large. was a paranoid schizophrenic. Even at in his early 20s, when it was the onset, he would do crazy ass things, and constantly. But Juan Rodriguez Chavez used him, knowing he was mentally ill, and instead, hey man, I'll give you liquor, I'll give you drugs, whatever. Just stand here and make sure nobody, comes in here to stop me, or be a watch out. And if you see anybody coming down the street, scream out, or something, make some noise so I hear it. But he kept on using Hector, Fernandez over and over again throughout the years as his lookout. But the nickname on the streets, it was crazy. Question number 8. What nickname did Juan Chavez receive from his grandmother from his mother's side of the family? Was it A, Speedy, B, Lightning, C, Burst, or D, Magic? What nickname did Juan Chavez receive from his grandmother from his mother's side of the family? In case you're wondering, Juan Rodriguez Chavez had this nickname tattooed on the back of his shoulder, between his shoulder blades. What was the nickname he got from his grandmother? From his mother's side of the family, that grandmother. Question number 8 of 20. Inner peace. The middle child. Moon pie. Lemon pie's going with sunshine. Because he's a ray of sunshine, isn't he? Lita's going with B, lightning. What nickname did he receive from his grandmother, from his mother's side of the family? Question number 8 of 20. Sal's going with B as well. Teresa Bird going with B. B, I originally picked C, but I have no clues, says Kitty Q. Question number 8 of 20. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy, lightning. She gave him the nickname because of all of the children, he was the one that took the least amount of time to actually pass through the birth canal. He came out lightning quick, as she always told him, and she gave him the nickname Lightning. And between his shoulder blades on his back, he had the word lightning in, I can't remember the name of the font, but he had it tattooed on his back between his shoulder blades. Lightning. B as in boy. Question number 9. Juan Rodriguez Chavez committed his first murder in 1985. Paroled later, how long until he killed again? Was it A, 5 years, B, 13 years, C, 18 years, or D, 10? I should have probably worded this differently. All right, I know on the screen it says Juan Rodriguez Chavez committed his first murder. What I meant and what I should have put there is, when did he commit his first murder as part of the spree? He committed his first murder not even 2 months after being paroled, after being released from his incarceration. When did he commit the first murder as part of his spree? Not his very first murder, but the first murder as part of the spree. That's my bad. I should have looked at that. Damn. Well, see, I'm human. I make mistakes. Faster than they say. Juan Rodriguez Chavez. Lita's going with A. Question number 9. When the hair club for men started. Somebody mentioned that like in one of the other streams, and I meant to actually, to look them up and see if they actually are still around. I wonder if they still make that Ron Popeil stuff too, where you can spray it and it looks like you instantly regrew hair for men and their bald spots. Do anybody remember those Ron Popeil infomercials? Mel, hello, Will, and other humans. Here's a human who makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, it happens. I've definitely screwed this question up. Should be the first murder as part of the spree. But good evening, Mel. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Question number 9. The correct answer to this question, even though it's completely butchered, and I should have put in there, when did he commit his first murder as part of the spree? The correct answer is D as in dog. 10 years after being paroled from the murder, his first murder was 10 years later as part of the spree. Not when did he kill again? Because the first murder was 2 months after he actually was released from prison on the first murder charge. All right, question number 10. Chavez once robbed a man at a phone booth and shot him 2 times and got $2 off of the victim. What was the only thing Chavez said to the victim before shooting him? Was it A, mail or no mail? B, you on the line? C, your name Roberto? Or D, you got change for $1? Chavez once robbed a man at a phone booth, shot him 2 times, and got $2 off of the victim. What was the only thing Chavez said to the victim before shooting him? No, damn it, I wasn't going to say balls. What did I do? I did something there. All right. All I can remember is the last thing I heard her say, I'm pregnant. Your name, Barry Morphew. I feel so lost, says Kitty Q. I'm sorry. And Duty Ron, good evening, sir. Welcome to Trivia Night. I hope you are doing well. I meant to try to catch your member live stream today. I saw the community post about your son started a YouTube channel. I have it saved on another window, but I was meaning to look at it later. The Morgan E, let me tell you about the car's extended warranty. Chavez once robbed a man at a phone booth and shot him 2 times and got $2 off the victim. What was the only thing Chavez said to the victim before shooting him? The correct answer is B, as in boy. Are you on the line? And thank you very much for the super chat there, sir. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You on the line. The man was waiting at a phone booth for a call back from a relative who was coming to pick him up, and he had given him the phone number to the phone booth. Juan Rodriguez Chavez walked up to him and said, "You on the line?" The man said no. He wasn't on the line. He was waiting for a call. So Juan punched him, knocked him to the ground, started kicking him. And then while he was there, he reached into his pocket and stole his wallet. And the only thing he had was $2. So he was pissed about that. So he shot the man once. And then his lookout came running over to see what the hell was going on. And then Juan turned around and shot the man again. The victim in this situation actually survived the shooting. He did not die from it, and he identified Juan Rodriguez Chavez later on in a lineup. But he survived the actual shooting in robbery for $2. That's all he got off of him. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is after our first 10 questions. So what we normally do is we take a break for the next 6 minutes. Do what you need to do for the next 6 minutes, but watch out for mountain lions because they're sneaky. Next 6 minutes. Is Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior? Are you asking that of Juan Rodriguez Chavez, Cameron? Or me, or just the community as a whole? And on meth. We'll be back. Next 6 minutes. Hiding my meth and bra. LOL. No mountain lions there. Yeah. Deuteron, what is your son's channel's name? Please let everyone else know. I'm going to look at it later on. I was just too busy today. Ask this victim. Oh, LOL. If Jesus Christ is his savior. Gotta do one on Juan Chavez that I researched. All right, I'll write that down, Kitty Q. I'm not familiar with who that Juan is. Juan, C-H-A. Chavez. And thank you for the suggestion. So now we know that there are 2 Juans out there. My uncle was mugged outside of his house coming back from the gas station where he bought cigarettes. He offered the low-life muggers his cigarettes, and he spent his last of his money on. Wow. Back in 1988, I think it was, might have been 1987. My mother and her best friend were robbed at gunpoint while waiting in line to go into a local bar. Now, yeah, you have to kind of put that in context. They weren't going there to go, waiting in line to go drink. This bar used to make an amazing fried chicken dinner and we didn't have KFC, we didn't have any fast food restaurants around in this area. There's more of them now, but back then there was definitely no fast food restaurants that you could go to. I mean, there were pizza places and stuff like that, but they were waiting in line to go inside and get these chicken dinners. And a lot of the people who work for these companies, government contractors, they used to go to the bank, which is a block away, and then some of them would walk or they would drive there and then pull into the parking lot and then get in line and to get these chicken dinners. Well, they were waiting in line, and this guy came up and started robbing everybody that was in line for whatever cash they had on at gunpoint. I don't remember how many he actually robbed in total. There were 3 low-life muggers against a Vietnam veteran, your uncle. They hit him with a lead pipe. That sucks. He got hurt. I wish I had been there because I was 22 in perfect health, and I'd walk around and slap it, with nunchucks. Sap them with nunchucks. Bam. All right, we got a little over 1 minute left of the break. Would have fed them their lunch. I don't even think I was here in this when my mom and her friend were robbed. In 1987, and I'd have to sit down and think about where the hell I was in 1987. After all these years, and moving, seems like every 6 months when we were growing up, we moved so much. Ooh, where is it? All right. If you copy that link, um, that's for Duty Ron's. Is that for Duty Ron's channel, Interpeas? Gary, did I ever do Gary Gilmore? I'm not entirely sure, Morgan, if I ever did Gary Gilmore by himself or if I did him as part of a compilation. That is your son's channel? Interpeas, if you post the actual, you have the ability to post the actual link for Duty Ron. But if anybody can post the moderators that here they can definitely post a link in the comment section. No, Deuteron, I have it restricted, so no links can be posted except for those who have moderation approval. And I do not have you on the list as a moderator, sir. Not that there's anything. I don't know the name of his son's channel. All right. Well, there's nothing to be sorry about, sir. I'm more than happy to let people know about your son's channel. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. All right, question number 11. Who was Joe Gonzalez to Juan Rodriguez Chavez? Was he A, fellow thief and fence, B, a fellow gang member, C, just another murder victim, or D, his cousin? Who was Joe Gonzalez to Juan Rodriguez? Question number 11. The Q is going with D, a question mark. Lita is going with C. Who was Joe Gonzalez? Lisa is going with C as well. Gianna Maria is going so. Oh, Summit Shoes said his fluffer. Please do not Google what a fluffer is. If you don't know, you don't need to know. You don't want to know. Oh, Summit Shoes. Wow. That was out of left field. Oh God, my brain is having acid reflux. I forgot what I read about this guy last week. Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. Well, you might have read about the wrong guy too, because Kitty Q also read and studied up on another individual with this, I guess, with the same name. Don't Google it. No. If you don't know what a fluffer is, you don't need to know, and you don't want to know. But that's funny. That was totally out of. He shared him with Chad Daybell. Question number 11. Who was Joe Gonzalez to Juan Rodriguez? Chavez? The correct answer to question number 11 of 20 is he is A, as in apple, a fellow thief and fence. A lot of the crimes that Juan Rodriguez Chavez took part in all had a robbery, or a theft component to it, and he needed somebody to sell these things off to. Joe Gonzalez was somebody who was known in and around his area, his community, as somebody you could bring things to, and he would give you money for these items. It didn't matter if it was a car or it was a wristwatch or whatever it might have been. You could bring it to Joe Gonzalez, and he could turn it, give you cash for it. And everybody in that community knew about this man. But he was also a thief and his fence. Good evening, Gemma. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. While in prison for his very first murder, Juan Chavez was considered to be a model prisoner. He actually convinced the warden and the head of the clinical psychologist he was remorseful and committing the murder by mistake. After his early release, they found out he lied to them and it was an accidental murder. He beat the person to death. It was not, and everything that he told them through the psychological classes, and everything else was all a lie. They found out later on. Like I said earlier, he snowed them all. All right, question number 12. Juan Rodriguez Chavez caused a lot of harm in the span of a short time. How many murder victims are there according to the FBI? Is it A, 13, B, 21, C, 12, or D, 10? Juan Rodriguez Chavez caused a lot of harm in the span of a short period of time. How many murder victims are there according to the FBI? Question number 12 of 20. Thank you, Interpeas, for dropping the link to Gemma's channel. It's a very interesting day, Will. I've got video clips I think you will be interested in seeing. Interviewed my veteran grandfather. Ooh. Who murders anyone by mistake? How gullible can these experts be? Well, there is in the state of Texas and in a lot of states is a murder defense. It's called accidental homicide. You beat someone, or you did something to them, not meaning to necessarily kill them, but you wanted to inflict pain, or damage to them, but they died from the actual beating anyways, even though it wasn't your actual intention. Like maybe they call it unintentional homicide. I mean, there've been a lot of states that have reworked sentences over that. Like somebody got life in prison for it. They said, well, that case wasn't an intentional homicide, so they gave them, instead of life in prison, without the chance of parole, they gave them 28 years. But that's happened in a lot of states. They've rolled back the actual sentencings of people who've committed one time, that murder. Juan Rodriguez Chavez caused a lot of harm in the span of a short period of time. How many murder victims are there according to the FBI? Question number 12. The correct answer is C, 12. 12 murder victims total died at the hands of Juan Rodriguez Chavez. 12. Question number 13. Of all the murder victims, Juan took it personal. That one victim he didn't know had to die and suffer beforehand. Who was this victim? Was it A, Jesus Bricino, B, Francisco James, C, Maria Pena, or D, Alberta Guevara? I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that. Of all the murder victims, Juan took it personal. That this one victim he didn't know had to die and suffer beforehand. Who was this victim? Question number 13 of 20. E, the fluffer cleaner upper. Tamra. It's a fluffer cleaner upper. Oops, I accidentally stabbed you 27 times. This victim was the most horrific of all. Not that there's any that are more horrific than others, but he definitely went in a completely different direction of brutality with this one victim. Lemon pie, Pauly Shore. Kitty D question mark. Gianna Marie, Lita, Sal, and Theresa are all going with C. Wow, slipping on a banana peel. Cement shoes. He killed Alex Cox because he took it personal. Question number 13 of 20. All right, thank you, Kiku. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you very much. Maybe he thought he was killing his mother over and over. Question number 13. Who was it? Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer to this question is, in fact, C as in cat, Maria Pena. This is the situation at hand and how he came to kill Maria Pena. Juan Rodriguez Chavez came upon Maria Pena and her boyfriend making out in his pickup truck. Juan Rodriguez Chavez wanted to steal the truck from the victim. He shot the boyfriend, dragged him out of the truck, stole his wallet, stole his belt and belt buckle, because apparently it was something he wanted. While he left him dying on the ground, he kidnapped Maria Pena. Along with his accomplice, they went out to a secluded area outside of town on a rural dirt, like gravel road. There, he stabbed her 3 times in the back and then in the back of the neck. She still wasn't dead. So Juan Rodriguez Chavez got back in the pickup truck and ran her over with the pickup truck and then backed up over her again to make sure that she was dead. And then got out of the truck and started pummeling her with a closed fist. Yeah. Talk about brutality. According to the coroner's report, she most likely would have died from the 3 stabbings that and bled out from them. And in this rural area, where this all happened, they never would have found her in time to actually save her life. All of the rest of it was just overkill. When he was talking with law enforcement and they asked him, why, what did you do this? He said he didn't like the whore. And that is in quotes. He didn't like the whore. WHORE. He took it personally. When they asked him to explain more, he refused to say anything more other than he didn't like the whore. Yeah. And I'm sure you all wanted to know that part. All right. Did you know Juan Rodriguez Chavez is actually related by marriage to none other than Ricardo Levia Muñez Ramirez, a.k.a. the Night Stalker? There is zero proof that the 2 men ever met at any time in their life. Richard Ramirez was in the state of California, a niece or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the connection is, but Juan Rodriguez Chavez, his family is connected to the Ramirez family by marriage to one of the Ramirez family members who moved to Texas and actually married someone else in his family. It's not like, oh, it's my brother's, wife or anything really closely related. It's like that one individual, they're a member of your family, but you don't really see them. And there is zero proof that either one of them ever crossed paths at any point in their lives. But he is actually related to Richard Ramirez, or Ricardo Ramirez, the Night Stalker. All right. Next one. Oh, boom. There you go. Question number 15. 15. Well, 15. Yep. All right. Law enforcement believed initially that the crimes of Chavez and his gang were not connected. So, how was he caught? Was it A, his friend turned state's evidence? B, his DNA got him caught? C, he confessed to another inmate? Or D, his girlfriend turned him in? Law enforcement believed initially that the crimes of Chavez and his gang were not connected. So, how was he caught? Not connected by DNA, only by rage. Lovely. Question number 15 of 20. Lemon pie is going with B. Teresa Bird is going with A. Sal's going with B. E. Turned in by Polly Shore. That damn Polly Shore. Gotta watch out for him. Don't trust the Polly Shores, man. They're gonna turn you in. Gianna Marie is going with B as well. Is it Chavez? Chavez or Chavez, Will? Chavez. Add the S for plural, I guess. Kitty Cube is going with B, question mark. Well, you're right there. It shouldn't be. It should not be plural. You're correct. That where it says there, it's got an S. It should be a Z. Z as in zebra, not S. The Morgan is going with C. Question number 15 of 20. Law enforcement believed initially that the crimes of Chavez and his gang were not connected. So how was he caught? The answer to question number 15, ladies and gentlemen, is A as in apple. His friend, Fernandez, Crazy. Remember I told you earlier about Crazy, the paranoid schizophrenic? Well, he had enough of Juan Rodriguez Chavez. His family got him on medication, and he was actually, after he came out of the state hospital, I think that was like after the third time that he had been there, he was medicated enough, and he said, "That's it. I'm tired of this man using me and getting me in situations where I'm going to get hurt or killed eventually." So Fernandez ratted his ass out, and the entire gang of people who roamed around with Juan Rodriguez Chavez. He turned state's evidence. They said, "Okay, we will not prosecute you for anything. Tell us, what the hell did he do?" And he told them not only where the victims were, he told them about the crimes and everything else that he had been, a witness to. But he turned state's evidence. Question number 16. After arrest, an unknown citizen tried to post the $600,000 bond to get Chavez out. What gang did this citizen belong to? Was it A, MS-13, B, Crips, C, the Bloods, or D, the Aryan Brotherhood? Because he wrote Chavez even last week. Will, just clarifying, my friend. I'm sorry about that, Mel. If I did that, well, you're saying I did, so I did. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to make it confusing. That's probably what confused Kitty Q if I did it last week as well. After arrest, an unknown citizen tried to post a $600,000 bond to get Chavez out. What gang did this citizen belong to? Lemon Pie is going with A. The Warriors. Warriors. Oh, Warriors. Weren't the Warriors one of the gangs in the West Side Story? The Warriors. Styles going with A. Gianna Marie A. Teresa A. Lita is going with C. You're kidding. Who'd want the beast out of jail? Maybe Planned Parenthood? Snitches get stitches. That's what they say. Snitches get stitches. After arrest, an unknown citizen tried to post a $600,000 bond to get Chavez out. What gang did this citizen belong to? The correct answer is A as in Apple. This man was a member of the MS-13 gang from Mexico. He had the 10% cash to get him out, but was unable to come up with enough security in actual value of property or something that could be secured for the rest of the bond for the $600,000 in value. So he was not able to bond him out. When they wanted to know why he wanted him out, he just said that he was a brother who needed to get out of jail. But this guy had connections to the MS-13 gang out of Mexico. All right, question number. Oh, did you know time behind bars can be lonely for a lot of inmates? Not so much for Juan Rodriguez Chavez. Up until the day he died, he had 39 prison pen pals. 11 put a few bucks each on his inmate account. When he died, he had $848 in his inmate account that couldn't be garnished. He lived like a king on death row. What happened to the $848? You might be asking yourself. What happens to all of his personal property? All of his personal property and the remains of his prison inmate account, his commissary account, was collected by a sister of his, one of the 19 biological full-blooded brother or sister, but it was a sister. One of the 19, not the half siblings, that make 25 or 24. All right, next questions. 17. While on trial for all the murders, robberies, and thefts, where did they house Chavez for security reasons? Was it A, in a hospital mental health ward, B, a makeshift cell with windowless room, C, in PC, which is protective custody, with other inmates of the same name, or D, protective custody in a jail 60 miles away? While on trial for all the murders and robberies and thefts, where did they house Chavez for security reasons? They housed it, and the reason why they were so worried about this was because they believed that either the Texas syndicate or someone connected to the MS-13s or one of the other people that got caught up in this entire thing from Fernandez ratting them out was going to get to him, and they were going to kill him behind bars. So for security reasons, they had to come up with something to keep him protected so they could go through the trial, give him the death penalty, and then execute his ass in the state of Texas. Please do a trivia night on Whitey Bulger, unless you have already have. No, I have not. That's a good suggestion, Cement Shoes, and thank you. I have not done Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger. The mobster, Whitey Bulger, who went on the run for quite a few years because an FBI, officer tipped him off that they were about to arrest his dumbass. I think they caught him in what, Los Angeles or California or something like that. Whitey Bulger and his girlfriend, they were living as husband and wife under fake names. But no, I have not covered Whitey Bulger. That's a good suggestion. Kitty Q has no clue on this one, so she's going with D ? Where did they house him at the time? All right, the correct answer is, for question number 17, is C as in cat. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to click on that already. Well, anyways, so they had every single inmate that was in that housing pod, they changed their names. They didn't all have the same name. They changed their names on paperwork to who they were. Every cell number they took off of the cells, and every single one of them, they listed them all as the same person, as Juan Rodriguez Chavez. They kept it all the same way. Another good one is Robert Durst. Oh, heck yeah. Whacking up Robert Durst. You got some good ones tonight, Cement Shoes. Thank you. Robert Durst. All right, question number 18. The first appeal of the conviction by his attorney was to place blame on who for all of these crimes? Was it A, Micah Fernandez, B, Louis Left Eye Pancho, C, Michael Martinez, or D, Louis Canals? I think that's how you pronounce it. Canals. In the presidential suite. The first appeal of the conviction by his attorney was to place blame on who for all of these crimes? Question number 18 of 20. You're on the ball, Cement Shoes. Fantabulous. Lemon pie is going to be, and so is Sal. Question number 18. Frank Stallone. Lemon pie. Frank Stallone. But see, here's a picture of him with a full beard. This is closer to what he looked like when he was executed. Lita is going with C. Gianna Marie and Kitty Coo are going with B. Risa Bird is going with D. And Australian Manic, Ivan Millet, if you haven't covered him. No. But I'll tell you right now, Cement Shoes, it's kind of hard to I don't know if that's the situation with Ivan, but a lot of media outside of the U.S. they don't cover as much when it comes to criminals. You might get one or two, articles about the crimes and about the person, but where they don't do it and cover it as well as the media here in America. And sometimes it's hard to even access newspapers and articles outside of the U.S. That I've been working on one for the Moors murders. for probably about 2 months now. I've been working on one for the Morris murders, and I'm still trying to I've covered the Morris murders before, but trying to answer other questions that people have asked and follow up in the comment section to that one. It's hard. Was he the Dexter of Australia killing offenders? All right, question number 18. The correct answer is D as in dog. Lewis Canals. Who is Lewis Canals? Lewis Canals was one of the individuals that the police department initially picked up. There were a total of 4 men who were arrested. Okay, the police department did not believe that initially that all of these crimes were the same person or the same gang and people. All right, so they rounded up all these other criminals, and some of them they quickly dismissed, and they were out of jail or out of custody in short order, like less than a day. But other ones, and Lewis Canal, Micah Martinez were 2 of the individuals who were rounded up in this police dragnet, and both of these men spent over 3 months in jail for the murders and for the robberies and crimes of Juan Rodriguez Chavez. 3 months that Lewis spent in jail before they finally released him. Because they were like, the police just kept on questioning him over and over again. He kept on saying, "I want an attorney." So they send him back to the jail, and then they'd bring him back and they'd say, and start questioning him again. And he's like, "I want an attorney." So they just kept on delaying his release over and over again because they really believed that Lewis had committed some of these crimes. Well, when his attorney filed his first appeal of the death penalty, he blamed everything on Lewis, saying, no, it was not Juan Rodriguez Chavez at all. He didn't commit any of these crimes. And this paranoid schizophrenic made all this shit up. It wasn't him. It was this guy that you had in jail for 3 months. And you guys didn't charge him. But D as in dog is that he spent 3 months in jail for crimes, all these crimes that he didn't commit. But then his attorney, as filing his first appeal, turned it right around and blamed it right on the same guy who just got railroaded and spent 3 months of his life in jail. That's got to be horrible to be brought up in the appeals process. Like, it wasn't my client, it was this guy. Question number 19. Prior to death, his attorney told Juan, the family of your victims would like you to make a statement. Will you? To which Juan said what? A, let them pray I will. B, they don't need to hear it. C, I'm not admitting to anything. Or D, I'll tell them I had fun. Prior to death, his attorney told Juan, the families of your victims would like you to make a statement. Will you? To which Juan said what? Have you covered Anthony Todd? Yes, I have. Anthony Garcia, the crazy doctor who committed revenge murders. Don't know if I've covered Anthony Garcia, but I will write it down though. Thank you again. Garcia. Lemon pie. It's going with D. Cement shoes. C. Kitty C. Lita C. Mel C. Question mark. Lemon pie. Team Edward. That's from the werewolf movie. I can picture the cover of it. But the only thing that's popping in my head is Teen Wolf, and that's definitely not Teen Wolf. Kind of make the Manson family look like the Waltons. Sal and Risa are going with C as well. Question number 19 of 20. Oh, please help me. I'm afraid of the needles. Twilight, thank you, Mel. I knew it wasn't Teen Wolf because that's Michael J. Fox. But that's the first werewolf movie, thing, that popped in my head was Teen Wolf. But I knew it wasn't that though. Team Edward. All right, question number 19. His attorney told Juan his families of his victims would like him to make a statement. Will you? What was his response? The question number 19, the correct answer is A as in apple. Let them pray, I will. Was his statement to his attorney when asked if he would make a statement before he was executed. Let them pray, I will. Question number 20. Electric bleachers are still against the law in Texas for now. What date did the state of Texas put to death Juan Rodriguez Chavez? And yes, again, there I put it instead of the Z, it has an S. My bad. Was it A, March 10th, 2002, B, April 22nd, 2003, C, April 1st, 2002, or D, June 10th, 2003? How much trivia on Angel of Mercy killers are nurses who killed? I've covered, not, but 2 weeks ago, I did one about, no, was that a compilation? It might have been a compilation of the Angel of Death. It was a nurse who killed. But it's a great idea. I'll write it down, the Morgan. Nurse who starts with a W, who kill. Oh. What date did they finally put Juan Rodriguez Chavez to death? Execute his butt. He was dead. Electric bleachers are still against the law in the state of Texas for now. Because in the state of Texas, if they could make electric bleachers and zap 10 or 15 inmates at once, they would. I'm convinced of it. You don't mess around with the state of Texas, and you don't mess around in the state of Texas. As my friend always says, fuck around and find out. You don't do that in the state of Texas, and forgive me for my language. We have at least 2 angels of mercy from the nursing profession. And there's also Dr. Shipman from the UK. Harold Shipman. Harold Shipman killed, I don't know if they've ever really come up with a total number for him. Not soon enough, in my opinion, says Mel. Sal is changing it to B. Lemon Pie is going with D. Sal D, but changing to B. Everything is bigger in Texas. Instead of electric bleachers, they Electric Avenue. Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue. Anybody remember that song? Electric Avenue. Everything's getting higher. Gone down Electric Avenue. Eddie Grant. There's an 80s song for you. Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant. Shipman takes the first prize. That nutcase, right? All right, question number 20. The correct answer is B as in boy. April 22nd, 2003 is when they executed Juan Rodriguez Chavez. All right, on your screen, I wanted to do a little bit of self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen. I purposely skipped over this earlier. These are two mugs that I currently have in my Teespring store. If you're watching this afterwards, you can see the merch shelf underneath the actual video itself. The one at the top says "Stay safe out there," and on the reverse side, it has 411 now. The other mug is a completely black inside and out, where the other one's white mug that was printed on black. This is completely black and for the murder, trivia, and coffee. All right, but those are links to the one. Stay safe out there is $12.99 plus shipping and handling. It all depends upon where you are, and they do ship internationally. I'm terrible at this, self-promoting myself, but that's how I survive on this, in doing this. But the other one is $17.99, and I only make 50 cents per mug. So these prices are what the actual costs are plus 50 cents. So I'm not making hundreds of dollars at doing this, but it helps keep the lights on. How did you do tonight's trivia? What, Miss K? Good evening. Welcome. I hope you had a great weekend. Was it A, 1418, B, C, a D, or an E? Don't judge me. I'm a mountain lion expert here. This is completely optional to give yourself a letter grade. Don't forget, we have the cases of those who are missing coming up still. Completely optional to give yourself a letter grade. Some people like to do it, some people don't. That's completely up to you if you want to give yourself a letter grade. How many of the 20 questions on tonight's trivia did I know before putting this trivia together? Ladies and gentlemen, I would have gotten myself a big fat F on this one. Juan Rodriguez Chavez only popped up on my radar. I had never even heard of this man until I was actually doing and putting questions together for Richard Ramirez, and found out that he was related to another serial killer. That is how I found out about Juan Rodriguez Chavez. Of the 20 questions on tonight's trivia, I knew only that he was related to, to Richard Ramirez, or Ricardo Ramirez, the Night Stalker. I knew none of it. So if you got more than one right, you would have done a heck of a lot better than me. All right. So these are the following cases are of those who are missing, and I am working with the following: the Charlie Project, Name Us, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Some of the parties are not little kids that I will cover, because I don't want to, send everybody, to their sleep tonight, having bad dreams about missing children. But these are later, teenagers. Maybe they're 16, 17 years old, but they are still minors. And that is why I'm working with all four of them, along with the FBI, to help get, this stuff out and get it in front of people's eyes so they can actually see it. Because you may know something about one of these cases, one of these nights, that may help solve, a crime, or, bring, a connection to a loved one. Maybe some of these people walked away on their own and just moved away and didn't bother to tell anybody where they went. So here is the first case for the evening. Caleb Dial was last seen by his mother at 5 p.m. on March 30th, 2015, near the family home. He was driving a friend's pickup truck because his was in the shop. Caleb's cell phone stopped working the same night and has never been turned on since. This is a picture of Caleb from Nocona, Texas. I think that's how you pronounce it. At the age now, he would be 27 years of age today, in 2024, not 27 then, 27 today in 2024. Caleb's mother kept the cell phone line active for a couple of years afterwards. Now, here's where the story takes and disappearance takes a twist. Remember, he was borrowing his friend's truck. Well, it turns out that Caleb's mother reached out to the friend. He was like, "What? I have no idea what you're talking about. My truck is right where I left it at my work, and my keys are with me." Eyewitness accounts corroborate that the truck never left. The mother believes that she saw him at the home in March, that day that he disappeared, with his friend's truck. But the truck that he supposedly was borrowing, it may have been another make and model, the same color, but of his friend's truck, but it was not his friend's truck. And did he tell his mother that he was borrowing his friend's truck, and that's why she believed it? Or was it that she'd seen the truck so many times with a friend, so she just associated that truck belongs to this friend? We don't know. But the truck, in case you're wondering what truck it was that he was driving that day, because again, Caleb's truck was in the shop. He was driving a late 1980s Chevrolet, possibly a Silverado or a make of truck like that, that was burgundy, solid, one color with a chrome strip down the side. That's all of her description was, and that's the exact description of his friend's truck. But obviously he wasn't driving his friend's truck, because eyewitnesses also say that truck didn't move. It is parked right there at his work, and he has the keys. So obviously he wasn't driving his friend's truck. But we'll go back and take a look at the photo again. This is what he looked like. This is not an age-enhanced photo. This is what he looked like when he disappeared. Again, he would be 27 years of age today. And so, if you can help, the phone number 940-894-2871, number you can call and leave a tip if you know anything or seen anything, or maybe you found a late model truck that that was burgundy in color somewhere around that area that had been burned, or maybe it ended up in a trash like junkyard or something, because law enforcement has checked everywhere and no one's ever seen this other truck that looks just like his friend's. Nobody in the community around there had ever seen another truck that looked like his friend's, that matches the same color and everything else. All right, our next case is Nancy Lee Brittner. Last seen June 29th of 2003. So just a little over a year ago. Her height 5'3", weight 110 pounds. Please pay attention to the tattoos, the lower right corner, and the picture that is straight up from that on the right with the burgundy hair, brunette hair. I mean, not burgundy, brunette hair. She does She did over in a lot of the photos. She does have like to color it, dye it a lighter blonde, or what they some people would call a dirty blonde. But at the time of her disappearance, she had more brunette hair. Nancy was last seen leaving her sister's home at the Relax Inn Motel, where her sister lived, on the 29th of June, 2023. Everything seemed normal as the sister drifted off to sleep that night. Oh, I did it again. Nancy used a spare key from a key hook that was in the apartment and left on her own accord and locked the door behind her and has never been seen since. Eyewitnesses at a local convenience store said that they may have seen her leaving or being in the passenger seat of a vehicle that stopped early in the early morning hours, and they bought. So one person went in, she didn't go in. That she may have been in the passenger seat. They were the purchase of that items that from the store were two Pepsis and a Snickers bar. That was all was purchased, and it was nothing out of the ordinary. And if it wasn't for the police canvassing that area, they probably wouldn't even have that tip. Is that a definite tip that she left and was in the car with somebody else? If so, what kind of car was it? The clerk didn't get a good enough look at it. He looked out the window at another car and saw her possibly in the passenger seat of a car. He said it was a bigger car, but he didn't know much more about that. There was no identifying marks, but he said at that early morning hours that it was a dark color, possibly green or blue. If you can help with anything at all, again, call 540-662-4131. And those are the missing cases. Again, I'm trying to help bring awareness to these cases, to the media, everybody out there. You may be in Texas, maybe you're not, maybe you're in Los Angeles. I may preview a case that that comes up in those areas, and you can look at it and say, hey, I might have seen something that night. One last thing of harmless self-promotion. The link that I just put in the comment section is for none other than stay safe out there. This is this is the actual mug. This is what it looks like. Stay safe out there with the moth on that side, and on the opposite side, 411 now. This is the one that is on my store, that is for $13, well, $12.95 or whatever, plus shipping and handling. But I have one myself. That is the link you can click on if you wish to actually buy one yourself. I've sold a little over a dozen of them so far. 10 in the first, oh wow, pretty rapidly right afterwards, after I posted it to the community section. Sold quite a few of them right away, and then nosedived off for actual sales. But that's how I pay for all this. Channel membership and selling, merchandise. That's why I don't ever have to come to you and say, here's my Cash App. Don't forget to give me a donation. Give me money. I don't bug people about that because I stand on my own 2 feet. I make my own merchandise. Well, not these. I don't make these, but Teespring makes them and ships them. You want to borrow my mom's? Mom, she picks them up and hands and puts them outside. You're not allowed to kill them in her eyes. Spiders, bugs. I don't know what the context is there. Kitty, if you're in my house, that you bugs or whatever it is, that you die. My wife always catches spiders and stuff in like a little plastic cup, and then goes outside and puts them in the wood pile. I'm like, I don't know how long you think they're going to live there. We have a bunch of logs, not logs, like big logs, split wood, or we have an outside like fire pit thing. We don't have a lot of wood. I mean, but we do have some stacked up. That's where she catches a spider. She puts it in a little plastic container and brings it outside, puts it on the wood pile. Spiders, yeah. We don't have big spiders here. We got little ones. I mean, the biggest spider we have around here is like daddy long legs. We get a lot of like was it brown recluse or whatever it is. We have those here. We don't have like tarantulas or anything like that. You hate spiders, says Smith Shoes. They serve a purpose. I mean, I don't want them in here, but they serve a purpose. They're always making webs underneath my patio, and then they catch all the the aphids and stuff that fly around in the summertime around here. The Morgan doesn't like spiders either. Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's a place for them, just not where I want them. Nope, not my house. Death except for moths. My youngest will fight to the death to save a moth. Don't mind helping the moths out. I hate roaches more than spiders. I helped a friend once move from. It's a farming community in Washington State here. It's called Wapato. It's a Native American name, Chief Wapato. But there's an actual city there now, and people are long gone. The Native Americans are from there, but it's called Wapato. But I helped them move once, and their entire house was infested with cockroaches. Everything, and I'm like, I would have just set fire to the entire house. I mean, I don't even want to come inside to help you move things. Picked up the couches, and you see them run everywhere. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I'm not doing this. We have big huntsman spiders that normally they eat the mosies, like mosquitoes, mosies. I do my damnedest best to respect nature, but I don't get bothered by spiders. But you do detest wasps. Here we have paper wasps. I don't see them much around here, but we do have them here. I know they're around, but I understand that detesting wasps. We've got beehives in the back, in our back corner of our property, but wasps and they won't come around bees. You got a huge wasp problem? Get beehives, like honeybees. They hate each other, and honeybees will attack wasps, and they get on them and they flutter their wings, and they superheat the wasp, and it kills them. Flying cockroaches, wasps. Hello, Emily. How are you doing today, Emily? You guys should see the size of the roaches in the Azores. They're almost as large as a small bird. Wow. No, thank you. I don't want to see that at all. Been a member for 38 months. Well, thank you very much, Emily. I really appreciate you being a channel member for 38 months. Thank you very much. Yeah, I live in what's called a semi-desert, or it's closely related to a high plateau desert. But when it comes to like insects around here, ants, those are everywhere. I mean, I think they have ants everywhere except for like the North Arctic. Um, we we have grasshoppers and locusts but they're more like farming areas, but not so much here in the city. But ants, mosquitoes, um, Japanese beetles is becoming a problem with them. Everywhere you go, you cannot escape seeing the traps for the Japanese beetles. They say to males what looks like a bunch of crumpled paper bags. Wasps think it's hornet's nest and they stay away. Hmm. Well, thank you for coming to investigator, Miss K. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the playlist of channel member only videos. There's quite a few of them. I do not know the number off the top of my head. I don't keep that stuff recorded. Like number wise, roaches on Vancouver Island are tiny in comparison to those flying critters in the Azores. I didn't know they had cockroaches up there. Vancouver Island is so pretty. If y'all have never been to, if you go to one place, go see the whole rainforest in Washington State, and then go to Vancouver Island, the British Columbia. I mean, it's so pretty up there. One of my favorite places to go? Oh yes, please do, Miss K. Roaches are darn near everywhere but my house, thankfully. No, I don't have any cockroaches here either. I mean, I know they're around, in this geographic location, but I don't have any roaches here. If I ever had a roach infestation, I'd just burn my house down. I'm kidding. I'm still at a loss that there are two Juan Chavez serial killers. Yeah, that is pretty weird. One with an S and one with a Z. Maybe the name's more common than we think it is. For whatever reason, it won't let me renew my membership. I typed in the card. I know it has money on it, but then it asks me for a password, and I can't remember it. I hit forgot password, and it does nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, Smith Shoes. You like the um what prison is like series? Well, thank you, Emily. I'm actually working on one right now, an additional one. Where's it at? I am working on. There's actually two videos. One is on Josh Duggar, not so much the man himself and his stupid, family, but kind of like the what Christopher Watts, what's for dinner, but for Josh Duggar at the FCI Seagull Federal Penitentiary. And the other one is on the commissary of what a certain individual is actually buying behind um, from the commissary, snacks and stuff like that, on another individual. And I've been talking with a individual, a former senator from a state. He used to be in charge of the comment. I don't want to get his actual job description wrong. Um, he was in price and he was in charge of the Correctional Institute's administration, um, and what they charge for canteen items. The commissary canteen. But these are all the emails from him. There's like 5 of them here. Roaches have survived nuclear bombs doesn't give me much hope. Yeah, where my wife works, they've seen cockroaches out there, and it's highly radioactive. She works for for a subcontractor of the Department of Energy, cleaning up a super waste site or super site. But yeah, they've seen them there. They've also seen radioactive spiders too. For some reason they're able to live, survive around that stuff as well. Black widows, mainly. Black widow spiders. How do you become a member? Um, okay, if you go to my YouTube, to my main page, 401 now. If you go to that, you can click on underneath. It'll have a list of like videos, shorts, lives, and all the way over to the right, it has you can click on, and it's a drop down menu for a member to become a channel member. If you want to do so, the Morgan. There's 3 different levels. Roaches can just wait, Spider-Man stuff, right? Or volcano streams. Please let the 6 cents a million know. I got her the membership. I know her from the volcano. What are the volcano streams, Emily? Is that like a channel that does to accept membership? 1, click on the super chat icon. Oh, you can do that here. I didn't know you could do it on the. Well, you can't on what I'm streaming on. That's on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can do that where the super chat $ is. Miss K gifted 5 membership. Wow, thank you very much, Miss K. JD's here. Was that Mike? Scroll up. Mike. Hey, Mike. Good evening, Mike, and welcome to tonight's stream. I didn't know you were here. And I'm sorry if I missed you earlier and didn't say hello. Dragonfly Love, and good evening to you as well. Welcome to the channel membership. Julie Page and Charlie Redeemed. Thank you very much, for being here tonight. I didn't know that people were here. Volcanoes in Iceland. Okay. I did not know about that, Emily. Well, Miss K, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you doing that. And not only for me, but for giving the memberships to to other people so they can enjoy more content that I have. I really do appreciate that. It's super nice of you to do that. Oh, oh, that just jumped. That's weird. I'm sitting here and I was reading the comment, and all of a sudden the whole thing just went pew, and I didn't even touch anything. My hands were right here in front of me. It says allow gifts. They're now if you haven't. I is that like on the settings? It says allow gifts. They're now if you haven't. I'll have to check into that lemon pie. See, I don't stream on YouTube. I'm using a completely different platform, and which I can then distribute my stream out to as many people. Like right now, it says that there are 9 people in the YouTube stream right now. 9. All right. There are 12 people who are watching on other ones, but I have no idea what it is because I'd have to actually close this window out and then look. You know, it's probably Facebook or it's not X because I've refused to pay for a blue check mark and a premium, account on Twitter. It's just a money grab, from fucking Elon. Sorry for my language, but it is. The blue check mark means that you are a verified account. You have to pay for that now. I have to verify who I am, give you all my information, to prove who I am, and then I have to pay you to have the blue check mark, and then I have to pay you on top of that to have a premium X account. No, you guys just won't get my content for free anymore. But anyways, I digress. But anyways, and it jumped again. I have no idea why it's doing it. Gift memberships on YouTube is like a long distance hug from a wonderful people you may never meet. It is, Mel, and I really do appreciate it. Will, Emily, and Miss K both gave 5 gift memberships. Well, thank you very much to both you, Emily, and to Miss K. I really do appreciate that, and I hope once the 30 days, I think it's a 30-day membership, right? I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, but after it expires, I hope that they stick around. Most people do, and I really hope they enjoy the content because it helps me keep all this going. Found a link for Patreon. Is that one? Patreon. Don't join Patreon. The channel membership on YouTube. Here, I'll put the link in 1 second. Oh, don't go there. All right. This is the link to join the channel membership on YouTube. Yeah, Patreon is completely separate. If you join Patreon, I'm not saying don't join Patreon. I just did it, but if you join Patreon, it does not have the playlist that you can access to on YouTube. YouTube, there's an entire playlist of videos, live streams, and stuff like that that are just for channel members. Where Patreon, there are videos that are just for patrons. And I used to do live streams once a month for Patreon members, but people didn't stop showing up. And I would be there, sometimes 10, 20, 30 minutes. Nobody would show up, and it was like staring at the screen. And that's one of the things that we're working on. Now, Patreon just started what's called Patreon Community. So on Patreon, you can actually have a community group of just your members. And you guys can, if you're on Patreon, you're paying for support the content, my channel, me, on Patreon, there's now a community tab there, kind of like nonstop, like a live stream. chat here, but it's a chat on Patreon. I just started it, and right now I don't know how it works. It's all new to me, and I'm still reading through how to set up, moderize it, restrictions on certain words, restrictions on what people can do within the community. But it is open if you're on Patreon, but that's completely separate. I fight with the phone gifting thing all the time. I'm here because I want to be, but receiving a gift membership is additional bonus that I never take for granted. Well, thank you, Mel. If on Apple device, please use your PC to renew your membership through the web, not the YouTube app. If so, you'll pay more through Apple. I heard that. Paul has it on his Patreon. Yeah, Emily, I just found out about the community. From what I understand, when it comes to the Patreon community, they rolled it out to larger channels first, and then they started rolling it out to other areas outside of the U.S. For larger channels, and now they're opening it up for everyone. And so I'm still reading through it and going through all of it, trying to figure out how to set it up. Can I add moderators? Can I, restrict certain kinds of contacts or links? These are things that I have to answer before I really jump into the Patreon community part. Go through Safari. I'm so late. I'm sure I missed everything. Just wanted to say hello. Well, the trivia is over for tonight's Sprinkled Donut, but you're more than happy to watch it in rewind. You may enjoy it. Well, I'm sure you will, actually. Don't go through Apple. Go through the website. Apple charges like $1 or more. I heard that about something else with Apple. And renewing certain things, if you go through and use the Apple Pay or the iPay, whatever it is. I can't remember what it was. But if they call it a service fee that they add to it. Many creators keep the content up for a set time, then I removed the content on Patreon. I'll freely admit that. A lot of like the live streams and videos that were made just for Patreon members, I do that there. Not so much on YouTube. I mean, if you go all the way back 5 years ago when I started YouTube, I don't like the videos and the way that I'm talking and presenting myself. This is a whole new thing to me. I always tell people I'm an analog man living in a digital world. Everything is digital, and I am the only person I know of who has countless notebooks. I write everything down when I make a video. I write everything down in long form on paper. Then I take that idea and then I slowly work it into the digital world, making how it looks and how I want it to be presented, how I want to come across in the video. Damn spider made me miss the last few questions. Uh-oh. Well, it's only Apple that's doing that. That's what I heard, Kitiku. It was kind of like, I think Apple called it like a convenience fee or service fee or something like that. I can't remember. Somebody else was telling me about that. Don't use the Apple or the iPay for renewing things. Because we used to actually be able to on our phone actually what do they call that, like not gift memberships, but you used to be able to buy maybe I'm not thinking of YouTube, maybe I'm thinking of Twitch. You buy people coffee. I used to have that option, but I deleted it. It used to be the QR code in the top. You could scan it, and it would you could buy me a cup of coffee here on YouTube. But we don't have that option anymore. Not on our cell phone that you can where you can click on that. Now you have to scan it, which is who's going to hold their camera, their phone up to another monitor and then scan something? That's ridiculous. Memberships can be exclusionary. I guess it all depends on the content creator. This is true. But with my channel membership, some videos. If you're like your channel membership for those who are new, you will get exclusive access to videos and live streams before. I mean, not live streams, but exclusive content before it goes out. Some of the videos that you'll see are there for 7 to 10 days before anybody else sees them, and then after 10 days, then they become open to the public. So even if you just look at the playlist, you're like, wow, he hasn't posted anything for the channel members in like a week. Well, actually, I have. The video is there for channel members for 7 to 10 days, somewhere there. Depends on if a weekend falls in there. That's why it's 10 days or 7. And then it becomes open to the public. And YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, takes it off that list and makes it public. So it's not a member-only video now. So you have to look at it. Linda, you've received a gift membership. Linda, well, great. Lucky, my friend, and there's no way that I will ever look a gift horse in the mouth. For anything Apple purchase, you can check price through Apple or price through the web, and it's always cheaper through the web. I'm a full-fledged Android user, total iPhone literate. To be honest, it ticks me off as a mod to have to explain that in a chat continuously. As a mod, since they don't have join buttons. You missed K-Dog and Night Train? Yeah, I got a lot of flack over those videos. Cement Shoes, a lot. Oh boy, and where I'm talking about, like, not just people complaining in the comment section. Well, I'm talking about people reported me to YouTube for that content. I know, I thought it was funny. It was all done in a comical, humorous way, but still, some people have no sense of humor at all. I'm an Android user myself. Love my Android phone. Well, that's what I have. Android. I have never had an iPhone. I've always had Android devices. I mean, I've had an iPod. I mean, damn good music player. I'll give you that. You like the K-Dog videos as well? What? Yeah. I did some videos that poke fun at Chad Daybell and Josh Duggar, that were where I dressed up and I did like skits of of them interacting with K-Dog, who was another inmate in the pod with them, or there were several different iterations of it, but some people have absolutely no sense of humor, and they reported me to YouTube for making fun of protected groups. That's what they're called on YouTube, but their standards and regulations department calls them a protected individual group. Not individuals, but a protected group. You can't make fun of certain people or certain people with certain backgrounds on YouTube unless you want to deal with the wrath of YouTube. where they don't get to you get to a point where if you make fun of them too much, they will make you go and do a course. It only takes about 20 minutes, but it's more of a pain in the ass where you have to read something, you have to agree to it, and you have to learn what not to do for the community standards, where you got into trouble. And then if after that, if you do it again, then you get a community strike. You get so many community strikes, they can and will shut your channel down permanently. You get too many copyright strikes in the same way. They'll shut you down permanently, and then they will delete everything of your existence off of the internet. So you want to go up to that line, but you don't want to cross that line. And yet some people do it constantly. They step over that line and then take another and another and another step over that line, where they're purposely trying to be hurtful to some people. And they're doing it in a vicious, and an attackive way. I was just making jokes. It was all comedy. And I tried to explain that to YouTube, but half the time when you try to explain something to YouTuber, as a YouTuber to YouTube, as a creator, without a personal representative, because once you're under 100,000 subscribers, you don't have a personal representative who you can contact. But once you get to 100,000, you can have a personal contact and somebody you can contact. But you send them an email, you explain yourself, or you reply to the community warning. That's what it's called now. It's now called the community warning, and which stays on your channel for 90 days, even after it's been resolved. You see in the upper corner, left-hand corner, it says warning in yellow, and then there's a thing, something you can click on that says that this has been resolved or it's being reviewed or whatever. But anyways, you get so much of that, and you try to explain it to them, and half the time, 3/4 of the time, you're trying to explain to something, a computer system, hey, it's a joke. And I'm sure it's all AI, at this point now with YouTube. It's like, the AI is trying to learn what you are saying in your response. Pervs out not count a special group. Their life's not unworthy of life. Now these are. I don't want to get too far into the weeds on it, cement shoes. But when I say it's special or protected groups, I was reported to YouTube, and I'll give you 2 examples. One, I did the video where it looked like I was looking through the cell door, or K-Dog was on the other side of the protective door, talking to Josh Duggar in that situation, in that video. And I got reported to YouTube for making jokes at the expense of those who are homosexual. People who are of that persuasion, whatever you want to call it, all right, just set that aside. Somebody reported me to YouTube for making fun multiple times, and they gave multiple examples of other videos where I said something that they deemed, that individual, not YouTube, but that person deemed as derogatory towards people of that sexual persuasion. That is an example of what I mean by special or protected groups. So I don't want to go into it too much more than that. No, they don't. They don't, Mel. And that's pretty wet and not too blinky blinks about explanation. No. And I've seen videos, or other channels have just gone right after people, because of their who they love. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. You do your thing. None of your business what the hell I do behind closed doors here. AIs aren't programmed with a sense of humor. No, they're not. I vote we send all the pervs to Antarctica or North Sentinel Island. We have an island off of the coast of Washington State, cement shoes, that is nothing but sex offenders. Nothing. There's nothing on the island except for sex offenders. And these inmates come from all over the United States. They're not just from inside of Washington State and committed crimes. There was one in the paper just the other day that came all the, they flew them all the way from New York to that island. Got to put away food. Spiffy up the kitchen. I'll be listening. Well, Emily, I'm about to wrap up tonight's stream because my voice is starting to get a little hoarse here. You know, it doesn't matter. I keep on sipping on tea, but that's the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. It's YouTube's sandbox. They make the rules and they decide who to hold the rules and hold accountable within their own, view. And it's not fair. And I like the video that I did not too long ago, answering questions and answers. I post, that was one of the questions. If somebody asked if there was a feature or something on YouTube that you wished would always have worked better, what would it be? And again, I drive that point home that I wish that they would use their own policies and enforce them against everyone or support everyone the same way. With the policies they have now, people get doxxed on here for, just doing, making a video. People are getting harassment. They're getting all these things. And it doesn't matter if they're a part of this group or that group or whatever. I mean, it happened to me. What did I do? I made a video and then offered to help someone for free who didn't have the information. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up there. But thank you again to everyone, and thank you to Miss Kay and to Emily for gifting the memberships. Thank you to Duty Ron for the super chat tonight. I really appreciate it. Everyone, have a terrific week. Quickly, before I wrap this up and y'all leave, on Tuesday, we have another episode of Little Known Serial Killers. That's on Tuesday, the 30th. Well, that one blew away. Then Thursday, we have the mistakes that serial killers made. And then we have, obviously, coffee brew and the trivia night next week. Now, are you still here, Kitaku? Kitaku, don't leave yet. Next week, this is your advanced notice of who trivia is next Sunday. And again, trust me, this is the only serial killer I have ever come across with this name. Next Sunday's serial killer is Kenneth Bianchi. Kenneth Bianchi. Next Sunday. That is next week's trivia. So you can study up and read up on that, on Kenneth Bianchi if you want. So there's no confusion over that name. If there's another, I don't think there's another serial killer out there with that last name, or there might be another Kenneth. But anyway, bye everyone. Have a great week and stay safe out there. The heat is coming back. We got another heat wave coming in, to the U.S. It's going to get warm this coming week, depending upon where you are. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot and you're able to stay cool. All right? In the meantime, everyone, thank you again for being here. You all have a terrific week. Bye.